you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
بالنسبة لما يجيك ستيف بروس مثلا يحط لك 5 في خط الدفاع ويلعب مهاجمين.
Excuse me.
اللاعبين في النص.
What is your VPN?
My VPN?
Yes.
My VPN is Spider VPN. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم في برنامج نيوكاسل مع وليد. We have a special show with special guest Bahraini Jordi. How are you, Hameed?
أهلا وليد. Hi. I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the show. Sorry?
Shall we start in Arabic or English?
As you like, my friend. At the beginning, we would like, we have the game yesterday. Wasn't the result we wish for. We expect 3 points, but the circumstances happened, the red card, etc. يعني it wasn't the business, but hopefully we'll make up and get the 3 points from Burnley. لقاء أمس كان يعني ما كان مثل ما هو متوقع. لقاءنا مع نوريتش، لكن ظروف الكرت الأحمر وما يعني إلى آخره يعني على الأقل خرجنا في التعادل. كنا خايفين إنه نخرج هزيمة بعد الظروف اللي صارت، لكن الحمد لله الفريق قدر يغطي. لكن الوضع خطير جدا الآن صراحة، لكن احنا متأملين خير في السوق الانتقالات إن شاء الله الجاية. تقريبا باقي لنا تقريبا 5 مباريات على انتصاف عدد المباريات انتصاف الموسم. قبل ما أبدأ مع أخوي حميد، نبغى بس نشكر كافي ريبوت أمس على استضافته الجميلة للمباراة. أشكر، يعني كانوا متعاونين جدا معنا، وكان ثيم خاص في نيوكاسل ما قصروا صراحة. يعطيهم ألف عافية. والحضور اللي حضر طبعا عبد الله وفارس أبوهم فيصل، يعني من الأشخاص اللي تعرفت عليهم أمس. لقاء برضو نعرض اللقاء مع صاحب أبو يوسف صاحب مقهى ريبوت. معنا أبو يوسف صاحب المقهى ريبوت. أهلا فيك أبو يوسف.
الخير.
كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله بخير.
كيف يعطيك العافية على المجهودات الجبارة؟
يعافيك. احنا من الصباح إن شاء الله مجهزين، وإن شاء الله المباراة راح تكون قوية والفوز إن شاء الله حليفهم
بإذن الله. كيف شفت التشكيلة اليوم لما نزلت؟
والله قوية إن شاء الله، بس أنا أقول لك نيوكاسل will never lose in reboot.
بسجل هذه إن شاء الله. هذه تكون أول فوز، أول 3 نقاط في مقهى ريبوت
إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله.
هو يعني he was honest. يعني he said we will not lose, and this is really what happened. We didn't lose, but we didn't win either. Back to you, Hameed. So who's Hameed?
I think you said it right. I'm a Bahraini Jordi, born in Newcastle, grew up in Newcastle, but from Bahrain, living in Bahrain, and I come as much as I can to Newcastle. I haven't come back since COVID, and I just came yesterday. So I was here for the Norwich game, and I'll leave after the Burnley game. Hopefully back again maybe in January or February.
Could you share with the fans what you can share with the fans regarding you supporting Newcastle, and since when you are become a regular visitor to Newcastle? Tell us about this passion and this part of life of yours.
Sure. So obviously I grew up in Newcastle, and if you're born in Newcastle, you're a Geordie automatically. There's no other team to support, and you bleed black and white. We stayed around 4 or 5 years in Newcastle. Then we moved up to Edinburgh, but I was a Geordie living in Scotland at that time. And then we went back to Bahrain, and to be honest, my father was studying in Newcastle, which is why I was born there. And I never went back until I finished school, finished university, got a job and was able to pay for my own tickets. So I only went back to Newcastle in 2005. Was my first first actual game. Watching the club live, watching the team live. My dream was, I think, similar to a lot of Newcastle fans like you, was to see Alan Shearer play, right? And I wanted at that time it was he retired, or he was going to retire, and then he extended for one more year, which meant that I had to go and see him. Otherwise, I would miss him. So I'm really happy to say that I saw Alan Shearer play. I didn't see him score. I think the first game I saw was Newcastle against Birmingham, and we won 1-0. Emre scored, the Turkish player. But I didn't see Shearer score, unfortunately, but at least I saw him play.
What best memory for you, or in the games?
I think I was talking to you when you were in Newcastle, and I told you should go to an away game. For me, that's the best atmosphere. It's the best experience. I've been to a few away games. I think the first away game I went to was I don't remember the year, but it was Newcastle against West Ham at Upton Park, the old Upton Park. We won 2-0. Damien Duff and Obafemi Martin scored. It was their first goals for the club. I don't know if you remember. I think Shay Given got a really bad injury in that game. But that was my first away game. But another away game that I really enjoyed was Newcastle against Aston Villa a couple of years back as well. At that time, we hadn't won away all season, and I went on the coach, and you know how the coach is, singing all the way and all the way back. And of course, if you win, it's a different aspect.
Did you make it back, or you didn't miss the bus?
I made it back.
Yeah, sometimes you start the joke before someone started on you.
Yeah. I think what happened to you, I felt sorry for you, obviously, but it was funny at the same time, because like you were sitting in the director's seat and then you're begging for somebody to take you back. It was sort of ironic.
This is ironic life. Yeah, exactly. Ironic situation.
Yeah, but honestly, for me, I would rather sit with the fans than to sit in the director's box. To be able to sing in the director's box, you have to wear a certain dress. You have to be formal. You cannot. I saw you doing this, which was really nice to see on TV once we scored, and of course you got the photos with Amanda and Eddie Howe, which was really nice as well. Yeah, you're the first Newcastle fan to have a photo with the manager, right?
Yeah, it's a big, huge honor and great experience. It's very hard to describe it, really.
Yeah.
And part of the, I know the bus, I missed the bus, but I was happy. I didn't much care that I'm a grown-up man. I could manage. And if you catch, I make a movie 7 minutes right after the bus left me. So it's I make it, it's
You're
like,
looking at the fun side.
Exactly. I was trying to turning to a bad event to make it at least positive somehow. But this is not about me, Hameed. I want to know more about you. So what you can share about your personal life, for example.
Sure. As I said, I live in Bahrain. I'm married. I have a little girl, Rayana. She's 9 months old. So obviously I miss her already. But, thank you. But other than that, I work for an international company, which means I travel a lot. Every single week, I'm actually most of my week is in Saudi, not Riyadh, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have seen you. So last week I was in Jeddah. I was in Neom. So I've worked with Neom. I was in Dubai as well 2 days ago. So that's usually my life. It's just going around places, and obviously Newcastle comes first, right? So I have to schedule my meetings and my work around the games. Luckily, most of the games now are on Saturday, so it means that I can organize my travel. But for example, the Saturday game this time it was early. So I had to take an early flight to Jeddah so I can watch the game there. It's a little bit of a mess, but I manage. For me, I don't miss games. I don't think maybe the last time I missed the game was 2011. I was flying from Germany to Bahrain, and it was against Manchester City. I missed the first half, but I managed to see the second half on the taxi on the way back home. But yeah, I've been watching the games, following the games, maybe as early as 1993. If you ask me who my first hero was, it was Andy Cole. Before Shearer came, it was Andy Cole who was doing the business for us. He was scoring a lot of goals, and yeah. Well, I think you wanted to say something.
How did you feel when he left to Manchester United, Andy Cole?
Obviously disappointed. I actually have a photo with him, but it's back home. I don't have a. Otherwise, I would have shared it with you. He came to Bahrain once, and I managed to see him, and he was wearing a Manchester United shirt. I was wearing a Newcastle shirt, so he saw the funny side. But I told him it was his most productive. It was his best season. Was when he was at Newcastle, and of course, it was a shame to see him leave. Imagine if he stayed and we had Shearer, and even if Les Ferdinand stayed for a couple of years more, I think we would have been a much better team. But then again, I think that period was an okay period. But of course, the period when Kevin Keegan came and changed the club, and if you look at this coverage in the early 90s for the Premier League in the Middle East, it was mainly watching the highlights show at the end of the week. So you watch, you see the highlights at the end of the week. We didn't get live coverage a lot of the games, so we just watch like the highlights. So like match of the day, but we watch it once a week. I think it's delayed by a week as well.
Yeah, great days. Yeah,
great days, especially because at that time Newcastle were first or second. I remember the famous season where we were 12 points ahead, and I was like, every week was like the best week. You're on a high for the whole week because Newcastle are top of the league. But obviously, the way it ended was not good.
But now is things different, and now hopefully we're gonna be better than before, as you expect. So
yes. I mean, we've had a lot of ups and downs, right? So we had obviously the good days. And for me, if you ask me my favorite period, it was the period under Sir Bobby Robson. I don't know how to describe you. You know how the club was heading under Ruud Gullit. Not the best times, to lose the derby, to just overall, his personality was not what we needed at that time. And to have Sir Bobby, somebody hugely respected in the world of football, again, a Geordie. I know Steve Bruce is a Geordie, but I think Steve Bruce supports Manchester United or Sunderland or Birmingham or Aston Villa. So he has this history which, makes me lose respect for him. I think he's a nice guy. I met him as well, but I think he's a nice guy. But he worked to the best of his abilities. But I think Sir Bobby Robson, you're talking top managers in the world ever. Maybe one of the best England managers for the National League. For the national team. And obviously one of the best managers in Newcastle history.
How many games you attend for Newcastle? In general, St James Park and away games? If you have
and reserve games as well. So I attended a lot of reserve games, which are also enjoyable to see. The up and coming players. So overall, maybe 20 to 25 games.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and actually a funny story. So yesterday I saw Tim Krul after the game.
Yeah.
And I told him, the first time I saw you play was 2005. It was against Middlesbrough away in the reserves, and he was like, "That's a long time ago."
And he's left Newcastle, left player.
Yes, but again, he's a player who spent, he was at Newcastle
more than 10 years. Yeah,
more than 10 years. Yes, he joined on a free as a young player, and I think he joined when he was 15 years old. And obviously, we still respect him, we still love him. And I think he put an image on Twitter and Instagram yesterday thanking the fans, and the fans were singing his name yesterday as well. I asked him about the penalty, if he let it in on purpose. He said, no, I was so close. He was disappointed to see that go in, but I think he was happy as well. was a
Hameed,
good result for him.
Hameed, this was the يعني after the game.
After the game, yes.
So يعني is it allow people go inside or this is outside? How
It's
you?
outside.
This is outside.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
So you know where the away coach parks opposite the entrance of the ground. So I just waited outside. I wanted to catch him. So I saw him actually walking from the building opposite the coach, and there was no fans there, so it was easy to you know to catch him, take a photo with him, and you know chat for a couple of minutes as well. It was you know as you know you would imagine he was a very very nice gentleman and a great servant to this football club.
so actually, I'm confused. Should I?
Yes.
Okay, I have your old photo. I have your new photo. I have
So many photos.
Norwich game. So since we start the photo of yesterday,
Yes.
maybe let's start with the recent before we go into the past. So this was yesterday.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the game in a few minutes. Okay, what you can tell us about this story? Sorry, this picture.
Yeah, so Carl Darlow, I think he was waiting for his car. So I think he was standing outside for more than 10 minutes. That's actually my second photo with Carl. But I was on the live, on the spaces with you. So I was listening to you and talking to him at the same time. But obviously a good goalkeeper, Carl Darlow. You know, an Englishman in the end as well. I really don't know what will happen with him at the end of the season. You know, I want to see him play games. I want to see even Freddie Woodman play games. You know, they're good you know young players who deserve you know to start in the Premier League. Maybe not Freddie Woodman, not yet, but Carl Darlow, I think you know he would walk in at any team in the Premier League.
I think Darlow. يعني I noticed some criticism to him, but what he suffered from the bad defense and the situation of the club and with the difficult Bruce ball, they call it. So I think he will do such great in the future because I think he been in such horrible situation and he saved us in a lot of good games. I know he did a mistake in Arsenal game. Maybe sorry, Brentford game. Brentford game. It was Brentford. Yeah, Brentford. But his mistake is very low comparing, in general, goalkeeper. Dubravka can make mistakes sometimes.
Yes. You know, again, I would not. You know, if I had 100 million to spend, I would not buy another goalkeeper. I think we have good goalkeepers. I think we need to improve the defense, which is where the real problem is. But I think we'll go back to that. So
yes.
Yeah, Sir Les was he was doing a broadcast yesterday with Amazon. He was one of the pundits, and I just saw him. He said last photo, and he was walking, and I just ran to him and I said, you know, I used to watch you when I was young, and he happily posed for this photo. You can see he was smiling as well. A lot of people, you know, if I see them and you know they're from the past generation, and I tell them I was watching you when I was young, they tell me you make me feel very old. So that was his reaction.
Brilliant. And I think this is Richie.
Yes, Matt Ritchie. He wasn't playing yesterday.
He looks a bit angry or sad.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so yesterday, so I think a lot of players have been instructed not to stop because of COVID. So him and Alan Saint-Maximin. So he was walking, and nobody saw him. He was walking from the side. He didn't come out from the usual entrance. But I just caught him and asked him if I could take photo. He said, no, it's COVID, whatever. I'm like, just quickly, just look, and that's it. So he just took a look. I have another photo with him. I don't think I shared it with you, which is much better. But this is a fresh one from yesterday.
Brilliant. Okay, this one we saw, and this is the quickest photo ever.
Yeah, he was running. He was running. He was.
He looked fast.
Yeah. I mean, you know, again, he said COVID. I think he's been instructed not to stop. So I've actually tweeted him saying, you know, I walked all the, you know, I came all the way from Bahrain, and this is the photo I get with you. You know, we should do a better one. So maybe next game he'll stop.
A great picture. And Eddie Howe, And I believe you speak to him. You speak to him, maybe.
Yes. So I had a chat with him as well. I was frustrated, honestly, yesterday after the game, but yeah, I know, there's not much he can do, and I didn't say anything negative. I really thanked him, for the positive football. Mentioned to him that I came all the way from Bahrain. He was surprised, and he asked me like how long it took me to get here. And he said it's a shame about the result, and I said, don't worry, I'll be here for the Burnley game. He said, yeah, we'll get you a win for that game.
That's very great. So speaking of Eddie Howe, what you can tell us about what do you think of his assigning to we signed him for Newcastle to be coach until 2024. What do you think of this choice, and what do you think the change he been made to the team?
Yeah, so Eddie Howe is, if I had my choice from the beginning, I would take Eddie Howe, and then we got linked to Unai Emery and a few other managers. But for me, I think Eddie Howe is a good choice. He's somebody who knows the league, who is experienced. He's a manager for the future. He knows a lot of the existing players, which really helps. He speaks the language. And he's playing positive football. I was really, really happy with the way we set up in not in the first game, but at least in the second game, the Brentford game, you could see the difference in the football team, the amount of possession we got. If you want me to go back, I can go back to maybe even Rafa. Rafa, as much as I like Rafa, I would say I was not really a fan of the way we played again under him. But I felt that he wanted to do well for the club. He wanted to play a certain way, not necessarily the most attractive way, but it was an effective way as well. For me, as I said, my favorite period was Sir Bobby Robson. When we had Solano, Laurent Robert, Craig Bellamy, Alan Shearer, Speed, Dyer, Jermaine Genius, and even the defense. It was not the best defense, but it was those exciting players which made the team. And we played a certain system. It was Shearer up front alongside Craig Bellamy, Laurent Robert and Solano putting in the crosses, and we have a good engine in the middle with Speed and Dyer, and that worked. And to see the negative football that Rafa brought. And the reason I say negative is because, especially when you look at the cup games against lower league opposition, we used to play with a lot of, we still played 5 defenders. And I think a few of his signings are questionable for me. Matt Sells is an example. Grant Hanley is another example. I know, he's the captain of Norwich now, but for me, he was not the right player. Ashraf Lazar also. A questionable signing, and I think with Rafa, he's a very, very tough person, right? Once you cross him, you don't come back. Once you have a bad game, it's very, very hard to come back. He forms an opinion of you, and there's no going back. If he doesn't like you, you don't play for the team. You look at Mitrovic, you look at these players who just couldn't get a game under Rafa. Which is why I said as much as I like the guy, he was good with the supporters. He never misled the supporters. He never lied to us. He was very honest about the financial restrictions. He tried his best, but again, I like the football under Eddie Howe. It is positive football. We have the ball. A lot of people say you cannot score without the ball. So at least we have the ball now. We're attacking teams. Yesterday, I don't know what would have happened if it was under Steve Bruce. Sending off in the first 10 minutes, maybe 4-0, 5-0.
Any game for Bruce was waste of time. We waste the time, and we want to grab a goal for win. That's all. This is every game expected.
He's a lucky manager.
And for Arsenal, I think Shelby, if he scored that great shot, I think we could have a chance. I think it was
Yes,
0-0
yes.
back then.
Yes, I think Shelby is playing differently now. I think the whole team is playing differently. We're playing higher up in the pitch.
Yes, Shelby,
Um,
Joelinton, big change. Wilson,
yes, Wilson as well. Yes, I
Saint
think
Maximin,
Wilson
Saint
has
Maximin
been.
get back.
Yes, yes. And Maximan had a few bad games at the start of the league, but I think he's getting better and better. And he will still, I think he's still not 100%. He will be better.
All right, Hameed. Not a great result we have tomorrow. Not
Yesterday.
great. I always mistake with this one. We didn't have great result yesterday against Norwich. So since you were there at
Yes.
the event, the game itself, what you can tell us, what, in a few words, how you can describe the game, what happens, and what the change you really notice? Because for me, I want to be fair to Eddie Howe. Still, he didn't get the luck regarding the games. First game, he got COVID. Second game, he back in last second against Arsenal. Third game, yesterday, the red card situation, minute 9. He doesn't have comfortable game, if I could say. So, what you can tell us?
When I spoke to you earlier, I told you, I'm feeling positive. We usually win when I go there, so I was hoping, we would break, the bad luck we've been getting, but there was no worse way to start the game. I think we started well the first 5 minutes, but then the sending off was really a shock. And we were waiting for VAR to hopefully, flag for offside, but it didn't happen. I was like, okay, this is going to be a very, very long game. But immediately, I saw the shape of the team. We did not change the shape too much. I think he took Fraser off and he put Joe Linton in the place of Fraser, which for me was not really a negative change. I think I think Fraser still is not 100%. He will improve, but so for me it was not necessarily the worst change, and for me it was good to see Fernandez back in defense. I felt the defense was really solid, at least in the first half. I think the second half, towards the end of the game, we started to have little mistakes, especially Shaw had a mistake. But I was really impressed with how Jamal Lewis started the game as well. He was attacking. He was much higher in the pitch than Richie usually is. Physically, I felt also he made. There were a few gay balls which were not played, on the right area for him, but he made the runs and he got the ball. For me, he was one of the best players yesterday.
Why Clark play instead of Fernandez, do you think?
For me, the only reason is because he's played more minutes this season and he's played recently. Um, I don't know. If I look, when Graham Jones took over the team, I thought he would change a lot from Steve Bruce, but he didn't. And then the first game, which Eddie Howe missed. Also, there was not really a much change in the team, and I think the game yesterday, I think it's the first time we have a proper back four. Okay, this is a proper back four. There's nobody playing wing back. You have defenders playing in defense, you have midfielders playing in midfield, and you have attackers attacking. So obviously, with the full team, without the sending off, would have been an interesting game. I felt we would have won 3-0 easily. I was not impressed by Norwich at all. I don't think they were dangerous. We created chances for them from our mistakes. But Kieran Clark, I think he played just because he played more minutes this season. And for me, honestly, I would not like to see him again in a Newcastle shirt. I would sell him in January.
And also, in addition, we lost Fraser. And imagine if Fraser is still in the field, what he could provide. We lost him earlier this game.
Yeah. As I said, Fraser for me he's still not 100%. I think yesterday was a good chance for him to play, a long game and to maybe to play against sort of a weaker opposition. I think he will get his chance. The manager will make it up to him on the Burnley game. I think he would allow him to play at least 70 to 80 minutes. So I would have him for the Burnley game just because he took the change. He understood the situation and he wasn't negative when he was taken off. So it's good to see that. And again, I would keep Fernandes at the back. I would keep Shaw. Manquillo, maybe not. I would probably bring Jacob Murphy back, or maybe Emil Kraft. But I don't think Manquillo played really well yesterday.
But Manquillo, the thing about Manquillo, I believe this is his right position, not like
Correct.
Murphy.
Correct. I just felt, Lewis was very high up the pitch on the left-hand side, and but again, Fraser was not there in front of him, right? So it was a slightly difficult situation. But I think Joelinton, when Joelinton played on the right, you could see Joelinton running back a lot. You can see him shouting, giving instructions. When we see him on TV, you see him as lazy, is not moving very well. But honestly, like when you see him live, he's very vocal. He speaks, and I'm starting to like him. For me, I know a lot of people don't rate him or don't like him, but for me, I support anybody who wears the Newcastle United shirt. And these are our players; they're fighting for us. We have to support them. We cannot afford to be negative. I don't boo players. I try to encourage them and try to sing as much as I can, and that's the only way they'll get us the result. So we have to support the team.
Yesterday, Hameed, I was surprised. I just say after first half. I just say on Twitter that I would like to have Joelinton off for second half and put Almiron in. And a lot of people, they replay and saying a lot of things. They really support and they really love Joelinton. I don't know what's I wasn't saying Joelinton is bad, but I believe Norwich player, they try to they left a lot of huge spaces behind. They want to take advantage of our shortage. So Joelinton, he's not fast player, not like Almiron. So that's why I prefer to see Almiron with St. Maximin this time. But I'm not really sure. Why do you think? Okay, he did a great game against Brentford, but against Arsenal, I didn't remember. He doing great thing. So I would like to ask you, why do you think sudden love or sudden care for Joelinton? What happened? What changed?
I think Joelinton is somebody who tries. Like when you see him, he really tries to play well. He's never said anything negative about the club. He's always tried. He's tried to do his job quietly, without talking to the media that much. And then we paid 40 million for him, okay, which we do, a lot of us don't agree with. But let's take the scenario that we don't want him and we want to sell him. So let's get him to play. Let's get him to score goals. So to bring up the price and sell him later for 30 million or something like that. But honestly, he is one of our better players today. I would not sell him even next season. I would keep him till next season. And I think he will improve once the football improves, once there are better players around him. And I think his position on the right or the left is his right decision. He's not an attacker. He's not a number 9. I don't think he's a number 10, but he could be a left winger or a right winger. Somebody, for the goal kicks, when they kick in, he catches the ball. He can hold the ball very well. He's physical, very similar to Andy Carroll, who's somebody we liked. Very similar also to Alan Shearer in terms of physique, okay, not in terms of finishing, but physique. He shields the ball well. He does his defensive job very well as well, and he tries. I don't think you see him as lazy. And the Newcastle fans, we demand somebody who tries for the football club.
Really, you described him very well, especially the word shields. He really shields the ball amazingly, and this is, I think, the reason he's a play. But it was Norwich. It wasn't like Manchester City or Liverpool. That's why I would like to say some changes, because in second half I didn't see much from him, but we can't blame him or the team because the shortage we have. And I think the change,
Yes.
Saint-Maximin with Almiron, it wasn't that great change, as we discussed in the space last night. What do you think, Hameed?
Yeah, I felt Almiron was not really effective yesterday, and I think he hasn't been effective for the last few games. And maybe he needs to start a game. I don't think Burnley is the right game because Burnley are a very, very physical side, and I think Joelinton will you will see how you will see the benefit of Joelinton against Burnley. Hopefully, he will help out in defense in corner situations. He will attack as well. Um, I think the Norwich defense is a slightly young defense. Had Max Aarons, and I think the left back that came on was really good. Um, so maybe Burnley is a defense that we can target as opposed to Norwich. So I don't think that Almiron could have affected the game yesterday that much. But maybe against Burnley, if he gets more time and nobody gets sent off, no drama, maybe it could be a good game for him. And if you remember the last season, the Burnley game where Alan Saint-Maximin played, I think one of his best games for the club. It's when the season started to change for us last season.
I believe also, in addition to that, is the request or the instruction from the coach is different. And for Almiron, I think he been told to do stuff not match his skill or match his style. So yesterday, I saw him have more defense role. And he went, I don't know, what is the point? He want him to hold the ball from the behind, from the midfield to the goal. This is long distance. He's not like Messi or Maradona. And the way I don't know why you replace Maximin and you still give him push him back. But I think this is just it was tactical thing. I think if he play again next time with a better situation, he will be more forward. And this is actually Almiron best place to play, just number 9 and half position.
Yeah.
Okay, so Burnley game, and now we are in bad situation really. Hameed will go now to standing table. Do you think? And for me, I'm thinking we win greatly against Burnley twice last season, if I have good recall, and also Saint-Maximin scored great goals in the both games. So, and with the save of Rose, so I don't think there is any excuse to not win tomorrow. What do you think?
I mean,
not tomorrow, sorry, Saturday.
Yes. So if you look at the team, this team won I don't know how many games last season towards the end of the season, and you had Joe Willock scoring, and we have a better manager. We have Joe Willock in the squad. It's a shame, honestly, that we haven't won a game all season. I think we've been very unlucky in some games, like the Brighton game. If the foul did not happen on Callum Wilson, we would have won. Southampton, the VAR against us in the last minute, another bad decision. So, if we had these two results, the league would have looked differently. The league table would have looked differently. And for me, I think I don't believe we will be relegated. For me, it's not an option. The PIF invests in with reason, and when they invest properly. And I think both of us know the PIF better than other people watching. And they chose the club for a specific reason, because of the support of the club, because of how unique this club is, and they will not allow this investment to fail. I'm confident of that. And I think going to the Burnley game, yes, we beat them twice last season. We had good games against them. I don't usually like the games against Burnley because they're very physical. They remind me a lot of Bolton Wanderers, who again I don't like at all. They're usually bad games to watch, but I feel we can get a result. I feel that the team will feel there's some sort of injustice that happened against Norwich. People like Fraser will want to prove a point. People like Fernandez, if he plays, he will want to prove that he should be there. So I believe the team will give it that extra 10-20%. And again, it's another few days under the management of Eddie Howe. Hopefully he will be able to change a few things.
Okay, I would like to back to you 2 points to discuss. First, regarding relegation, hopefully we're not going to be relegated, and we will not going to be relegated. But why people keep saying, some people and some of the fans, they have already surrendered. Okay, we'll be relegated. So what? We can get, but I think it's early to say that. But why now? And if we didn't have the takeover yet, maybe okay, I could agree, maybe. But now we have a promising coming transfer window. Why do you think this surrounding? Why do you think this is by the fans? What's the reason? Why they are not have any high or better expectation? Because we are getting better day by day. Of course,
Yes.
maybe the lose of the buoyance, maybe. What do you think, Hameed?
So yes, if you look at the big picture, you look at the team. If we have this chat next year, this time, we'll be looking at a completely different team, right? So, and looking at the history of the club, history of supporting the club. We've been, I've witnessed 2 relegations. They're not nice. They're not. I don't. It's a difficult time personally. But once you're relegated, that season is like the best season ever because we're winning every week, and it's an enjoyable season, right? There's a lot of games, so I used to, whenever we got relegated, I came and you catch like 3 games in a week, from Saturday to another Saturday. So there's a lot of football on. Maybe the TV coverage is not good in the Middle East. I'll say that, but I'm not saying let's get relegated. No, I'm just saying, we're still, 14 years under Mike Ashley is not easy. We're still feeling the effects. Yesterday, you walk into the stadium, you don't want to see the Sports Direct, banners. You don't want to see the advertising. You don't want to remember the bad old days under Mike Ashley. We fought a lot, to get him out. I think you showed some protests outside the stadium for me, and I know you did a lot online. Maybe I was not very active online at that time, but yes, we fought a lot to get this takeover. Has it sunk in yet? I think in January we will feel that this is a new club. We just got rid of Lee Charnley very recently. I think that's the last of the previous era. We just need to get the Sports Direct banners out, and as you said, maybe change the name of the 9 bar to back to Shearers, and then we have our club back. So it's what I would say is it's just we've had bad experiences, and we've been stopped really from dreaming, I would say, because of the old era. They've put a limit on our expectations. And again, what a lot of the media have been criticizing us, right? They say, oh, we expect to win the Champions League and things like that. As you ask me, what's my expectation? I expect the team that tries to play good football, that plays attractive football, or tries its best, gives 100%. So if you ask me, was I happy with the team yesterday? I think the team gave its best. So I went home happy. I wasn't very upset. I was upset because I felt some injustice towards us, but as long as the team tries, I don't get upset, during the week. If the team plays really badly and they don't try, which happened a lot under Bruce, this is where it affects me the whole week. Nobody speaks to me. I tell my wife, I'll see you tomorrow. It's sort of that way. Like it's a bad, it affects the whole week. And when you see, when you're in Newcastle and you see how hard, the people work over here, just to go at the end of the week to watch the team, work as hard as they did the whole week. That's all they ask for. That's all, we want to see a team that's trying to play, that gives it all, it's proud to wear the black and white. And it was really that's why, it was really disappointing under Steve Bruce. I don't think he told them go and don't play very well, but I don't think he had the control over the team like Rafa did. Rafa, he made sure that people played well. that the people tried. He would not accept a bad result. Even after a good result, he used to criticize the players. And I think that's the difference. Whereas, under Steve Bruce, it was always an excuse. And then suddenly, we're going to play football my way now, after a year and a half or something like that. So it was a very strange character for me. Very nice person, but a strange character.
Yesterday,
one thing I want to add as well,
Sure.
like you see Eddie Howe, after the game, he instructs the players to go around the pitch and clap the players and show their appreciation for the team, and it was really nice to see. And he did the same thing as well. Eddie Howe walked around the pitch and clapped the supporters. And I don't know if it was audible on the commentary yesterday, but we were, it was one of the best atmospheres I've seen in a long time. We sang a lot for Eddie Howe's Black and White Army, and there was a lot of singing going on. It was really, really good atmosphere yesterday.
Yeah, this is very important, and because okay, we didn't win, but it was big chance. We lose in the last seconds. I remember. So I could say we got kind of lucky, and with the Dubravka save as well, last 5 minutes. Usually teams, I remember, we collapse. We have some such when Fraser got red card last season, we collapse. But this is not happened yesterday. Actually, what happened? Okay, yesterday I was shocked. Fernandes after Lascelles off, Richie off. I thought definitely Fernandes will play. So I could say that I believe in karma in general, concept of karma. So for me, I was really, I said, why not play? Because I remember, he is a good defender. He have not much that mistakes, and he's a good defender. What happened? We know they have a fight with Graham Jones. Everybody talking about, but so, and who doesn't have fight with his coach? And this is, if I have a problem with the player, it doesn't matter. He play. If you have a mistake or he's break a rule, you could do some other punishment, but don't punish your player not to play. Anyway, so when Fernandes come, I think the team becomes stronger. And if you're, when I remember and this is another issue for Newcastle, I believe, is the captain. When I saw the handball by Norwich defender, all what I remember is Fernandes running to the referee, shouting and forcing him to go to the VAR. This is captain behavior, and this is what I recall. Sometimes even if the referee by any reason against you, you should pressure the referee for your sake. You should object. So I think Fernandes, he did this with especially with the handball. Also, Eddie Howe in the conference room, he gave the credit for Fernandes. He said he did a great game. So I think this is all happened just, part of it, I believe, just to have Fernandes back to the team.
Yeah.
Now look,
I would have taken that. I would have accepted that.
Look, two player off, and this is not happen quite often.
Yes.
2 player off, he didn't play until the red early card, which is also not often happens. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think he deserves to play. I think he's one of the most experienced players we had. I don't know what happened, honestly, between him and Graham Jones. And I think that started maybe before Graham,
with the Bruce as well, yeah.
Well, so I think it started from that time. I think Steve Bruce probably started blaming specific players, and I don't think that I don't recall Fernandes having bad games. I recall Lascelles having a lot of bad games. I recall Richie making a few mistakes. And of course, from the right-hand side as well, Jacob Murphy did a few mistakes. So, but Fernandes, for me, he's one of the most experienced players. A surprising signing, when Rafa Benitez signed him, I was really, really surprised. Like, why are we getting somebody who used to play for Swansea? We should be getting better players like Colaccini and more experienced, players. But I was really, really impressed with him. I have a photo with him. Maybe you have it as well. One of the nicest players. He usually, stops every time to take photos with the fans. Even if you message him on Instagram, Twitter, he replies back, and he's a very, very nice guy. I wanted to see him yesterday from the beginning. I want to see him continue at the club. I don't want. Yeah, I know his contract will expire at the end of the season, but he's one I would keep just because he's solid. And I just think we need somebody next to him that can play. Do the running for Fernandez, like somebody like Shar, who will take the ball and run forward a little bit, move the ball, pass the ball well. For me, Shar and Fernandez would be my favored pairing at centre back. I think Jamal Lascelles plays because he's the captain. That's the only reason. Other than that, I would not have Lascelles.
The goal we concede, do you think Fernandez could do better? He was the one who was facing. He looked like kind of afraid from the pokey shot, but I think he could jump on the ball more. I don't know.
I didn't see the goals back. I just, I saw the goals live, and for me, the ball went from one side to another, and then the goal kick came. So I don't know whose mistake it was.
No, it wasn't that a mistake, but it was. If I am a defender, Pookie is number one. We know this since long time. So I will go wherever he were. I know he will get the pass. I know Norwich player will pass the ball for him. So he was empty. So this is a mistake.
Yes.
And Shar did great as well, but he did fatal mistake, almost cost us the game. So it's really what Alan Shearer says. He says Alan Shearer, he's amazing and he really described the situation. I saw a couple of videos for him when he speak honest, and there is this famous video for him few weeks ago before the takeover, talking about talking about Mike Ashley issue with the club when he said copy paste. So what he said 2 days ago, he said the Eddie Howe style is open, and this is exposed the player in defense. They used to play in certain way, and there is no more signing for defense, and they used to play fully defense the whole team. So this is give him a kind of cover. But when the team start to play open play, they get exposed, and this is what happened in Arsenal, Brentford, and Norwich. Norwich was I think Norwich is the worst team in the Premier League. Worst team. And if they don't have Pookie or maybe Hanley, the defender, I think they will be much more worse. So but this is take us to the transfer window. Hameed, who you want to see in the transfer window, who you wanted to be in the club?
So I think that the transfer window will be a process. I think this club, the club, is a long-term project for the PIF. For me, I would invest a lot in the training ground, because you look at the Leicester City training ground, it's from the future. Look at the Manchester City training ground, and you compare it to our training ground. I would start with that. I would also look at scouting. I would improve the scouting network we have. I would look for better players, maybe better coverage in Germany, in the Dutch league, in the Belgian league, and try to find some young players who will, change the club in the future. Maybe sort of do a model similar to Chelsea, where we sign players and loan them out, and try to build the club that way. But I think for today, we need some players we need a mix. We need some players who know the league well, and some players who will bring some flair to the club. So I'm not saying sign Mbappe. I think we will sign Mbappe, but not this season, maybe in a couple of seasons. But I think some realistic signings, maybe. I like Insigne a lot, Lorenzo Insigne, the Italian player.
Yeah.
I think Federico Chiesa as well. Again, another good player. I would have them.
So you are in shopping Italy
I'm
market.
shopping in Italy. Yeah, I'm shopping in Italy. Immobile as well, Belotti. These players, I think they're good players.
Belotti.
Yeah, so I think he'll be similar to Joelinton, but Immobile definitely knows where the goal is. If you look at the younger players, I think there's a young player in Germany, Florian Wirtz, I think is his name. We were linked to him. A few from the French league would be interesting. I don't have any specific names, but I trust the system. I trust Eddie Howe. I trust his judgment.
Okay, don't tell us the names. Tell us the positions we need. Let's say we have 4 players. Which position?
So definitely somebody alongside Shelby. Somebody.
DM, يعني the midfielder, the defense midfielder.
Midfielder, but attacking midfielder. Somebody like Wijnaldum. I think yesterday we spoke about Wijnaldum. Somebody like him, maybe him as well. I don't mind him. Maybe a younger version, somebody who has the legs, who can,
So one defense midfielder.
I would say slightly more attacking, not defensive. Not a defensive midfielder, an attacking midfielder. And I would look for a longer term replacement for Shelby as well. Somebody who I think Billy Gilmore from Norwich, he played well yesterday and played well the game before. Shelby, he plays like a quarterback role, right? Yeah, he's a really talented player. He sees things a lot of players don't see. I was surprised actually. I put a tweet out. Jeff Hendrick should have won the Ballon d'Or. I think he deserved the Ballon d'Or because I think I would have given it to Lewandowski. Honestly, I think he deserved that. A lot of people say that. So, but yeah. Other than that, I think we need two defenders. A good solid center back. I think Tarkowski would be my choice. But again, we'll see Tarkowski on Saturday. I think it will be a good chance for us to judge, to try before we buy, as they say. So we will see how he plays. I would get another striker as well. I think if Callum Wilson gets injured, I think he will get suspended very soon. I think he's 1 yellow card away. I don't believe in Gale. I would sell Gale as soon as possible. I think for me, even Muto was better than Gale. But yeah, I think we need another striker up front to. Again, I would look for younger players. Built for the future, look for younger players.
I agree with you, Hameed. Maybe except 2 points. I think we need defense midfielder more than attacking midfielder because I think the cover usually when the defense is exposed they need more a good defense midfielder to help them not to be exposed this much wide open as we see with the team. So this is we notice easily to break counter attacking easily they break us through very quickly. So we don't have that strong defense midfielder who can give us safety in defense, and he can really pass the ball appropriately to the forward players. And second thing is you mentioned something about I know you are right, we have long way for process investment and stuff, but we didn't have another choice. We need to spend in this transfer window. Either we like it or not, or we said it's not a good player available. Well, we have to make them available. Become relegated. This is back steps, and this is out of. We are not looking to this matter, and we will gonna not be relegated, and we are gonna buy players help us for that. No time for saving or this kind of things, I believe.
Yeah. So I think going to the defensive midfield, I just look at the way the team is set up. I don't think Eddie Howe will sign a defensive midfielder unless it's somebody who plays like Kante. We need somebody who plays like Kante who will take the ball, run up, from defensive midfield. But if it's just somebody standing there blocking the balls like Hayden, I think Hayden is a good defensive midfielder, but once he crosses the midfield line, you know, he's not amazing. And I think that showed yesterday when he came on. So if he gets somebody like Kante who will go forward, who will take shots, somebody like Cheick Tiote as well, who was, you know, obviously a very, very great player, very fondly remembered. He didn't score enough goals, but obviously, you know, a lot of players, you know, a lot of Newcastle fans still adore him and love him, and we wish his family well. So I would have players similar to that, just not similar to Hayden, is what I'm, you know, I think is where the issue is. And I think, you know, I want to see the team plan buy players for the next few seasons. I think, you know, when you look at the mistakes that Rafa did, he bought players. He said, I will buy players that know the championship very well. And he bought Grant Hanley, he bought Daryl Murphy, he bought a few players that were good to take the team out of the championship. But then he was not able to replace them. He sold them and was not able to replace them. And I don't want the club right now to buy players just to stay in the league. I want them to plan for the future because we're not going to get relegated. We're confident we can make it up, starting from the Burnley game. And I know we have some tough fixtures in in December. But we should stick with the team, stick with the manager. You know, the games will not be easy. If we manage to get, you know, 6-7 points, I think from December is decent when you look at the fixture list. And it's, you know, 6-7 points is more than we have. You know, I think we have 7 points right now. So to get 7 points in a month is good. And we're not far off. I mean, we win 2 games. You know, we're okay. We need a little bit more than 2 games, but it's.
But look, Hameed, to Brentford, يعني, who we play, and I think we were better than them. They are in 11 position, and we only 9 points behind, 3 games behind only.
Yeah,
and this is mid and this is mid of the table.
Yeah, we're not the worst team in the league, definitely. I think, you know, we look at Norwich, as you said. Southampton, we played well against them as well. Brentford, we played well. Crystal Palace, we didn't deserve a lot of the results. You know, even against the better teams. You know, I think against Chelsea, if we managed, you know, a little bit more, I think we would have maybe got a result against them. I think even Manchester United, you know, if it wasn't Ronaldo coming back, we would have got a good result. I was confident that day, but. We're not a bad team. We're not the worst team in the league. We're not the 17th worst league in the league. Worst team in the league. I would say, you know, we deserve to be mid-table with the current team. But I'm looking forward to next season. I think next season is going to be really interesting. And it's important, you know, that you know, we as fans support the club. We don't put pressure on the management. We trust the system. We trust the owners. I know it's a long-term project, and success will come to this club. You know, if Rome was not built in a day, Manchester City was not built in a day, and Newcastle United will again. We're repairing 14 years of damage done to the club, right? It's going to be a long time. It's going to take 3-4 years, but I'm confident. You know, we will be challenging for titles, for silverware very, very soon, sooner than a lot of people think. If you tell people that, if you told me like in your life you will see Newcastle win something, I would tell you no. Maybe in my grandchildren's life, right? But now I can tell you that we will win something within the next 5 years. We will win something, and the thing is, we will see a team that's trying to win, that's trying to play well in the cups. And you know, as I said, you know, all we demand is a club that tries to win, tries their best. That's all that we have.
For me, Hameed, what make me relax the most, if I ask you now, you see the standing table in the picture, right? We have
Yes.
now 10 teams in front of us. If I ask anyone, even if not Newcastle fan, and they will ask him who have the best, who will get the best transfer market in January, who expects?
If you look at the whole world, we will still have the best market. Even compared to Real Madrid, we will have a better transfer market.
Exactly. This is one important thing. Second thing, who's now have stable manager from this list? They are. So let's name Brentford. I think they are happy with the Brentford. They're happy with the coach now. I'm not recalling his name now. Crystal Palace. I think they're happy with Vieira so far. They have good players. Aston Villa. I think they just assigned Gerrard, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I think, and they make a couple of wins, so they are all right. Everton, they are struggling with the management with Rafa now, and sack maybe any time. And a lot of fans.
I think the next game against Liverpool is going to be interesting for him.
Oh, so next against Liverpool.
Yes.
All right. Oh, that's it. Leeds. It's weird. They have better. They have Phillips, who is a great player in England, and they have just signed James from Manchester United. And they have Bielsa, and he's a great coach, experience, very popular. So I don't know what's going with Leeds, and they're still struggling. Southampton, they are very bad, and a lot of fans. I speak a lot of fans in Southampton. They are afraid from relegation. Watford, surprisingly, I think what helped Watford is assigning a great coach, Ranieri. I think this is it. So Norwich, as we say, they can't. I can assure you, Norwich will be relegated. Sorry, Norwich fan, but I'm sure about this. Burnley, well, they have great team, as you said, physically, but also they weren't that lucky. But so that's why I'm relaxed. Those teams, they are not. Maybe even Leeds. Even Leeds, we draw against Leeds.
So maybe look at it from a different angle, right? We're gonna play all these teams again. Yes. Do you see Newcastle losing against any of these teams? I see maybe Aston Villa, the only team that can beat us. The rest, I don't think anybody can beat us.
Yes, exactly. You summarize it very well, Hameed. So that's why I'm not well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so let's go to the last part of our show, Hameed. This was a very pleasure, and we're really happy to meet you today. And I was interested to know more about you, and I got some information that I said I want to know who's Hameed, what's story with Newcastle, and really was great.
I have a lot of stories.
Yes, so hopefully we'll host you again, and you will tell us a story. Yeah. Before we go into the picture, this is just me. It just come to my head. I want to ask you, where do you like to visit in Newcastle? Because I know that you know everything in the town.
Yes. Yeah. So I grew up in Benwell, which is not really in the center, very center of Newcastle. So that's where I was brought up in that area. Not the best area, but for me, I like the city center. The quayside, Tynemouth is very, very nice.
I went there.
It's amazing.
But so it's cold.
I mean, Newcastle is very cold, right? But I think it's a process, so you get used to it. Once you spend a couple of days here, believe me, you can go out. I can go out tonight wearing this only, no problem.
Oh, so you are a real Geordie.
You see how the Geordies dress, right? So yeah, you have to. I mean, we're Geordies. We're both Geordies as well, so you have to mix with the people. You have to behave like Geordies, and it's a system. I have a secret. Like, plan ahead where you're gonna go, and if it's 10 minutes, just survive the 10 minutes. 10 minutes walk, survive it, and that's it. Better than walking around with a jacket, scarf, and everything. Just survive the 10 minutes. Run if you have to.
I really personally I like the atmosphere around the St. James Bar. Even if it's not it's a close or no games, the surrounding is amazing. The walk distance and the shops are a restaurant around.
I mean, if you tell me just sit in front of St. James's Park for a week, I would say okay, I'll take that, right?
Exactly.
A lot of history, a lot of great players, great managers, so many stories. A lot has happened, And again, I go back, to the city. It's a unique city, and the club is widely supported, widely loved. It's a religion, for the people, for the Geordies. Everybody supports the team, and we just look forward to the games. We look forward to going there and supporting the club. And you see the people, right? You see the people in the city center, in the shopping centers, going around wearing the Newcastle t-shirts with pride, talking about football. You see old people, 80, 90 year old, sitting, maybe in the metro or somewhere. They're just talking about the club, and you just admire that, and you realize, how much this club means to the city.
When I went from London to Newcastle, the people behind me in the plane, they talking about you, Linton. So yeah,
This is the Geordies, football 24/7, right?
yes, exactly, yeah.
It's a
Very
unique
nice.
city. It's a unique city, and I think the PIF knew what they were doing. It's the perfect club to invest in, and I know there are wider plans to invest in the area as well, to develop the Newcastle as a city, and I'm really looking forward to see the development. And you can see the stadium has been cleaned up a little bit. They're changing a few things, but again, it's going to be a longer term process. And a lot of what they're doing is really good. You look at the Rubin family with the food bank. They're doing the right things. Where compared to actually changing the name of the football club, that this is what we had, changing the name of the stadiums, right? So
in addition, I make interview with Charlie Bennett, and tomorrow in the news, المناطق news, and he says, and when I ask him what to change, and what do he think about the new management and the owners, and he said the most thing we like that we see them every game. This was very rare with Mike Ashley and previous owners. So this is they see him every day and we see action. We see last week Jimmy Robbins go to the food bank, as you said. So this has become daily. They become around the club every day, and not just when they are group.
Yes,
they all care and they all have assignments. So this is really amazing.
But again, when Mike Ashley was here, when he first bought the club, we saw, he was there at every game. He was sitting in the away stands as well. People used to see them in the clubs in Newcastle, in the bars, and they mixed with the people. And then I don't know what happened. It was just like I think when Keegan left, and everything just fell apart, and he fell out of love with the club. And obviously we gave him a very, very hard time. But I think things will be different, because these people genuinely care about the club. The PIF could have easily gone and bought any other club, easily go and buy West Ham, Southampton, any other, if they wanted to. They could buy 5 clubs if they want to, easily.
Yeah, but Newcastle was number one choice.
Exactly, and it was the only choice. You see people saying they're going to buy Inter Milan next. They're going to buy. I still believe for them, Newcastle is the first love. At least for the PIF, it's the first love. It's like in Arabic, ولادة متعسرة. It's like a lot, a very, very hard delivery, a long labor. But they have now the perfect child, the perfect project, which they will invest in, and Newcastle will be number one for them. Maybe they will invest in other clubs, but not to the level of Newcastle. And they're doing the right things, as I said. All the messages are the right messages.
Brilliant. Ballon d'Or, if it's gonna be to Newcastle player, who will you choose, Hameed? This year. Newcastle player.
Very difficult question. What I would say is, to all the players, try your best. We're going to give out the Ballon d'Or at the end of the season. maybe the supporter club, the Saudi supporter club, can give out an award at the end of the year to the best Newcastle player.
Oh, that's a great idea. I didn't think about it.
So
Thank
let's
you,
let's
Hameed,
do
for-
that. Let's do that. But I wouldn't honestly. I would say the season is not over. Players, it's time to to compete for the Saudi prize.
And I think we're gonna make a nominee, because for me, I already choose him, so it will not be fair. I'm not gonna say who, but I think it's obvious. I saw this picture. I really loved it. I believe it's. I see it. Yeah, it was really show passion. What do you think of this picture, Hameed?
So obviously Alan is somebody who's passionate, somebody who even like online you see how he interacts with the fans. He's a very very nice person, very generous person. You saw him give a watch to one of the supporters as well. He visited the food bank before as well. Does a lot of local activities as well. So very very nice person. But and again, somebody who cares. You saw when he scored against Brentford, the celebration. It was amazing. It was like, for me, it was the best moment of the season, because we did not deserve to lose that game, right? And we were losing, and you just saw like when he did the back of the flips, I felt like I wanted to do them as well with him, right? Because it was an amazing feeling. And I felt, this is the turning point of the season.
When he scored against Southampton before the draw goal, it was first game home, I believe, after corona epidemic. So he really wanted this goal to be the win goal, and he celebrated with the fans crazily. So hopefully against Burnley he will achieve that.
Yes, I really hope so.
To score the winning goal. All right, and he's funny either. I saw he gifting some loyal fan a watch last week. And I remember a tweet. Someone says, "Saint Maximin, can you be my friend?" And like that, he just said no. It's funny.
Yeah.
he just could ignore it. He said no. That's so funny.
Yeah, as I said, he's somebody who gets well, gets on well with the fans. We had different players over the past seasons. Hatem Ben Arfa, a great player, but I don't think he has a lot of time for the fans. I remember I saw him. He was in the car. I said, just take a photo with me. He was like, no. So you have these players who do not have that the special relationship with the fans. And I think, Alan Saint-Maximin, if he wants, he can go and join any club.
Yes.
Better than Newcastle at this moment. But he believes in
not now. No, but I think before, yeah.
Before, yes. He could have gone to maybe I don't want to name clubs, but he could have gone to Arsenal, for example.
Yes, yeah, and he already said this in an interview last 2 weeks. Yeah.
But he really appreciates, what the club gave him. The club gave him a platform. Even players like Gino Wijnaldum, who was Wijnaldum before he joined Newcastle, but the club gave him a platform. But hopefully, now the players don't see Newcastle as a platform.
Yes.
They see the Newcastle as the right project
and the right destiny.
Yeah.
Destination. Okay. For me, I wasn't know them before, but I have now, not like now, everybody talking about Ant and Dak. So this is really funny. Going on air in 5 minutes from our high-tech studio.
Yeah.
I love how simple they are, how funny they are, and just like I'm catching there some shows on the YouTube. We didn't have like live channels or how you see them, and I saw them. I saw yesterday a picture for them. They are so young, with Kevin Keegan and St. James Park.
Yeah. First of all, my question to you: do you know which one's which? Do you know which one's Ant, which one's Deck?
Well, this is embarrassing, really. But I think the tall one is Ant.
Correct. So the one with the t-shirt, black t-shirt with the white in the middle, that's Ant. The one on the other side is Deck. But usually that's the funny question. Like a lot of people don't know which one's which.
Really?
That's always like the funny question.
And their support for Takeover was amazing.
Yeah.
Because sorry, Hameed, but a lot of great account or high follower million account, they didn't help much in the takeover, but they were very helper.
Yes. Again, Ant and Deck are, historic. They have a lot of history in the club. In the city. They had a previous show when they were young called Biker Grove. Look it up. I don't know if you find it on YouTube, but other shows, they present Britain's Got Talent. I attended once, so I saw them. Don't have a photo with them. I have a signed book by them, but don't have a photo with them. But they present that. I think they're the most famous TV presenters as a duo. They usually win like the TV awards every year. Of course, I'm a huge fan of them. Now we have I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which is showing these days. So this is why they were tweeting this. I think it was at just after or during the second half of the game. When
I think they got Ginola last time. I just read about
Ginola's actually on the show this year. So I'm watching the show. I saw half the episode from yesterday. I didn't see the rest. So, but yeah, I watch. For me, as I said, because I grew up in the country, so I watch mostly British TV shows, and whatever Ant and Deck presenter is usually very nice, very funny as well.
They're friends or brothers? They're friends.
They're friends, but they live next door. They spend time, most of the time with each other. So, for me, very, very proud Geordies, and they always, they make it known that they support Newcastle. Them, even Alan Shearer, they're people, who maybe live in London today, but make it known that they're Geordies, fly the Newcastle flag, and ambassadors really for not just for the club, but for the region.
Yes. Okay. Quickly, we have some. We speak about Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
This is Dave. نسميه احنا الشيخ ديف. tomorrow يعني عندنا سلسلة حنا مع ديف. Just he's like a tour guy and help a lot with food bank and stuff. And he's like becoming my friend. And he showed me Newcastle and I show him Saudi Arabia. And this is our show. It's going to be tomorrow. Usually it's Wednesday, but he's traveling somewhere, so it's going to be tomorrow. That was your show, Hameed. It was amazing. This is the article. I translate this one. I can't pass it without talking about. This is Norwich owners, and she caught to sleep last night. So, how embarrassing is that, Hameed?
I don't know if it was true she was sleeping but I think Norwich played very boring football. I don't it's not exciting football. I don't know. I think, as you said, Norwich are the worst team in the league. So but she's funny again. There's a famous video of her getting on the pitch at halftime in one of the games, just shouting at the fans, "Let's be having you, let's be having you," and trying to encourage the fans. So just look it up on YouTube if you haven't seen
but Hameed, if I'm a player and I see the owner sleep, this is I will feel I feel this is
it's a good sign. It's a good sign that you're not doing the job, right? You're not playing
exactly. Yes. I will feel very shame for myself that I'm not interested. He's leaving. All right. This is funny. I just take it from Fawaz Snapchat, my friend Fawaz. I don't know. It's funny. Someone some clash or friendly clash, a funny clash between teasing. Let's call it teasing. Some teasing between Norwich fans and Newcastle fans, and I think he's saying that we have the money, we are the rich. It was really funny photo.
So let me ask you, like, when you were walking around in Newcastle, did people expect you to be just putting £50 notes here and there and thinking you were as rich as the PIF.
No. But I remember I was walking by the St. James Park and they were working in the street. They are doing some drilling and stuff. And they said, we want Mbappe. We want Messi. They saw me, I think, with the Saudi dress and the Saudi wear. That's why they tell me that. They think I'm one of the owners, maybe.
Yeah.
This is funny. This is it map of Kieran Clark. But I like what Eddie Howe says. And he said that was his judgment at 10. Everybody knows he did a mistake. But this has happened in football. And
last
his
10 minutes, not the first 10 minutes. Last
exactly.
10 minutes, the same
but
situation.
And somehow, maybe he thought he will get booked only. He didn't see it as a red card. Maybe. Anyway,
I don't know.
But
Again,
I can assure you, and I can't believe, and I can say if he continue, Timothy Buki will not score, because I can't see Jamal Lewis. I think Jamal Lewis or Willick, one of them. I think I can see him running faster, and I think he could really prevent that.
Even if they score, there's enough time to get a result.
Exactly. That's what I'm
saying. Let's say they score, we can get 1-1, the same result.
Yes. And if this is last minutes, okay, but not first minutes. Yeah. Tomorrow, our interview with Charlie Bennett, great lad, journalist, and he's really amazing writer. What else we have here? We have some comments before we let we can let Hameed go. I just say to him 1 hour, and now I'm spending 1 hour and a half. Sorry, Hameed. We have a few comments. Enjoyed that, but need head off now. Good stuff, good vibes. Thank you, Boiler Boy. Andrew Smith, we should go for Robert Lewandowski. Offer him £5 million a year. What do you think, Hameed?
I think it's not about the money. It's whatever we offer. But it's just the profile of the player. Would I go for Lewandowski? I think he's one of the best players in the world. Would he fit in our system? Maybe not. I think very, very. I don't want to say very similar to Joe Linton, but he's a physical attacker, knows where the goal is. I think we need a different player at this moment, and I think we need to build from the back, and then the last player we should sign during the window is a striker. But start with the defense.
But Hameed, why not? Let's have him. Why not?
I wouldn't say no, but will he be successful? I don't know. I would get a younger player. Like
but how many years left in his career? And what the player wants? He won trophies and he got, I think, everything with Bayern München. So maybe he didn't get the Ballon d'Or. But
the problem is we're going to win a lot of trophies, so it's not a good club to come to if you don't want trophies.
My friend Christopher says, Salam Al-Walid wa Hameed. How are the lads? Christopher, final words and free speak for you, Hameed, and last words for you.
No, I would really, really like to thank you, وليد. I really appreciate what you do, bringing our cultures closer. Playing your part, showing people Saudi Arabia. I thought, Bahrain is very, very close to Saudi Arabia. We're your little brothers, right?
And and I'm meeting a lot of people from Bahrain. We have our friend Yusuf Janahi. We have Stuart Binman, and I suggest you should meet together, lads. There.
Sure. I don't know if he's watching, but happy to watch a game with you one day. But again, a lot of Newcastle fans in Bahrain, by the way. I know a lot of them. Bahrainis who support Newcastle before the takeover, and now obviously very, very happy. So hi to all the Newcastle fans in Bahrain. But as I said, I really appreciate what you've done, and my pleasure really to be on your channel. Hopefully, my only problem is I really travel most of the week, and usually when I'm back home, it's family time, so I cannot spend an hour and a half doing a YouTube broadcast. But whenever I'm traveling after work, I'm more than happy to join you, on a broadcast.
And you are lucky. You are lucky. There is one suffer with me 4 hours show.
Yeah. No, it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can talk about Newcastle United for days and days and days and days, and I think that's the beauty of the club, right? There's no other club. Imagine we're Norwich fans talking about the game. 5 minutes and we'll go to sleep.
And hopefully we'll take some part of this show, and we will do show along with this season when we are in better result, better condition, better place, or better position, standing table, and we are gonna say we told you so.
Yeah, definitely. We're not going to get relegated. And one thing, maybe we can do a show next time in Arabic for your followers who follow the game in Arabic.
Sure thing. Thank you, Hameed, and we let you enjoy your rest of your night. How are the lads? Good night.
Good night.
Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Oh, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
بالنسبه لما يجيك ستيف بروس مثلا يحط لك 5 في خط الدفاع ويلعب مهاجمين
Excuse me,
اللاعبين اللي
Ravi.
في النص.
What is your VPN?
My VPN.
Yes.
My VPN is Spider VPN.